for today's Artifact Spotlight, we are taking a look at an item on our restored baggage cart here at the Cleburne Railroad Museum. This is a tiny little Easter egg to keep your eyes out for when you come to the Railroad Museum opening in like 2 weeks. So we were going to talk a little bit about this hat box that we have stored on here with some other antique and vintage luggage. As you can see, it just says Hattie Carnegie Incorporated. So a little bit about Hattie Carnegie. She was born in Vienna, Austria-Hungary in 1886, I believe, really long time ago. And her name was actually not Hattie Carnegie. It was a slight variation, Henrietta, and forgive me, I'm going to butcher this, Kanagaiza, something like that. And her and her family immigrated to the United States when she was a very young girl, and her family was very poor. She went to work trying to help earn some support for her family. So she worked at Macy's as a messenger. She worked as a model when she got a little bit older, and she eventually started working in a hat manufacturing company. So after she worked there for a little while, she decided that she wanted to start her own hat company. And she did when she was 23 with a friend who was a dressmaker. So the friend would actually sew and make the hats, and Hattie would design them. It was in Hattie's early 20s that she changed her name to Hattie Carnegie. Hattie, she thought, sounded very aristocratic and fancy and chic. So that's why she went with that to change Henrietta. And then she adapted the last name Carnegie because Andrew Carnegie was the richest man in America at the time, and so she thought that would be a great last name for her to take on. So she did. So her and her friend, they were running their hat business for 10 years, and then Hattie bought out her friend, and she got sole proprietorship of the business, and it officially became Hattie Carnegie Incorporated. Hattie was doing pretty well right before the Great Depression. She was doing about $3.5 million in sales, which is pretty impressive for 1929. When the Great Depression started and people were spending less money, she developed a less expensive line that was called Spectator Sport. And it was at that same time that she had this unknown woman who was modeling for her named Lucille Ball. So Lucy would come, and Lucy credits Hattie with teaching her how to model and how to wear these $1,000 expensive clothing as if it was nothing, darling. And so Hattie paid her and supported her as a model while Lucille Ball was working to establish herself as an actress. So by the time Hattie died in 1956, she was doing about $8 million in sales a year. So again, she was just really successful, had really chic designs that became really classic. And when she died, the business started to struggle more. It was really a tribute to how much she kept the company going. So the custom salon that she ran closed in the 60s, and then they closed for good in the 70s. So that's a little bit of the back life behind our hat box here of Hattie Carnegie, and we hope you'll come check it out in 2 weeks when we open the Railroad Museum. So hope to see you guys then. Thanks, bye.